Behold, thou shalt not approach unto a woman to uncover her nakedness, as long as she is put apart for her uncleanness.
Right. So when she's on her cycle, can you lay with a woman when she's on her cycle? La'ah. Okay. Another thing that the heathens did. We don't do these things. All right. Got
a question about that.
Uh-huh.
What about Rachel and Leah? How is that situation different?
Right. Rachel and Leah, they were sisters and they were vexed. Right? So it's telling us not to do this thing because it would vex her. Right? And we have an example of it being done, and they were vexed. You know what I mean? With the situation, when you read about Rachel and Leah, they didn't get along. Right? They had problems. Right? They were constant competition with each other. They were, so it's not the ideal matter of marriage to take a woman and her sister. You know what I'm saying? So he's instructing us not to do this. Of course, that was done for a particular reason. The Most High intervened and caused that situation to take place. But normally, we wouldn't do that. Right? We wouldn't do that under normal circumstances. Okay? Had another hand that went up? Okay. All right, let's read.
Verse 20. Moreover, thou shalt not lie carnally with thy neighbor's wife, to defile thyself with her.
Right, so what are you doing now? Now you commit adultery. You lay with thy neighbor's wife, you commit adultery. Yeah, you're going to defile yourself. Right, you make yourself unclean, filthy. Right, read.
And thou shalt not let any of thy seed pass through the fire of Molech. Neither shalt thou profane the name of thy God. Right. I am the Most High.
So as a man, we're supposed to teach our children of the Most High. Not teach our children about no Molech, some other God. So we not to allow our children to what? Follow the customs of these nations. One of their customs, they had a god called Molech that they worshipped. Right? You're not let your child worship Molech. Everybody understand that? You're responsible for teaching your children to serve the Most High God. Read on.
Thou shalt not lie with mankind as with womankind.
Right.
It is abomination.
Right. What's that talking about? Right. Chichiman. Right. You can't be no bocce boy. Right. So they get as was the song go? They get shot. Right. So we're not to operate in homosexuality. That's an abomination. All right, so this whole chapter is going through what? Sexual immorality, fornication, in different ways, shapes, or forms. Okay? Read.
Verse 23. Neither shalt thou lie with any beast to defile thyself therewith. Neither shall any woman stand before a beast to lie down thereto. It is confusion.
It is what?
Confusion.
It is confusion, right? All right? Can't lay with a beast, right? With some sort of animal. People on the farm messing with sheep, all kind of stuff. That's an abomination, right? We have I'll leave it alone. Let's read on. I'm not even going to mention it. I'm just going to give you a slide right past that. Right? I don't need to educate y'all on the wickedness that's going on. But there's some wickedness going on. All right? There's some people that love their dog a little too much. All right? Well, let's read on.
Leviticus chapter 18 and verse 24. Defile not ye yourselves in any of these things.
Right.
For in all these the nations are defiled.
In all these what?
In all these the nations are defiled.
In all of these, the Most High said, the nations are defiled. So he letting us know something. These customs exist and have been going on from back then in the earth. Right? That's why when you look at some of these Egyptian hieroglyphics, you see things that don't look right. Right? There's some fornication and some chichima stuff in some of their hieroglyphics. And you want to know why is it so. They try to give you some deep understanding on why it is. There's no deep understanding. Y'all just wicked. Right? Y'all just wicked. Y'all just defiled. Right? And all the things that Leviticus 18 says, y'all was doing that stuff. Right? It's still doing it to this day. All right. Here in America, these things are done that ritualistically are done in Hollywood. All right. When they had us in hard bondage, right? They tried to what? Infect us with these type of ideas and activities, right? That were wicked, man. You know? So the nations are known for these things. Right? Buck breaking, I was thinking about that. Right? Let me bring that out. And the different things that they did to us in our captivity. But that's not of our people. Homosexuality is not of the children of Israel. Does everybody understand that? That's something that was taught to us and infected amongst our people. Our people didn't do these things. The nations did these things around us. This was normal life for them. Messing with the animals, you know, trying to make a half man, half dog, a dog head man. You see that in the hieroglyphics, right? The dog came in. Why you want a dog head man? Why? How that came about? What you was doing with that dog? Right? Where that idea come from? Right? So you gotta understand that's where these ideas arrive from. Right? We're learning this in Leviticus the 18th chapter. Right? That this is not coincidence. It's not natural in man. It's not man's nature. This is the nature of the heathen man. Right? It's the nature of the nations around us to move in this manner. Not us. Okay, so we don't have to accept homosexuality. They say you gotta have tolerance. I think it's the same. They have signal words. You know, be tolerable. Right? We don't have to accept homosexuality. Everybody understand that? You don't gotta have no homosexual friends. You don't have to be cool with it. You don't have to find a place of comfort with it. What you're supposed to do is supposed to cast it off as evil. And that's it, and remove yourself from it. Does everybody understand that? All right, so we cast these things off as evil and remove them from our surroundings. Okay. We don't have to have a comfort with the fact that these things exist. All right, let's read. Right. Mommy, mama, and me. Right? This is actually an actual school book. They're trying to teach our children to have, they call it tolerance and comfortability, and you was born that way. No, the children of Israel were not born that way. Or else Leviticus 18 would be a moot point. Right? We weren't born that way. We were trained by the nations to have these concepts within our spirit and our mind. And we can purge them out. Right? We can purge them out by standing up against them, casting down these imaginations. Okay? Let's go.
Leviticus 18 and verse 24.
Yep.
Defile not ye yourselves in any of these things. For in all these the nations are defiled,
right,
which I cast out before you.
Right.
And the land is defiled.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore I do visit the iniquity thereof upon it.
Come on.
And the land itself vomiteth out her inhabitants.
So he says, I visit the iniquity upon it. How does the Most High visit iniquity? Right? Give me the Isaiah 29:6. Come, read that.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 29 and verse 6.
Thou
shalt be visited.
Thou shalt be what?
Be visited.
So when the Most High is sending you a visit, how are you going to visit? Is he coming to ring your doorbell? Ding dong. Most High out here. How's he going to visit? Read.
Visited of the Most High of hosts.
Come on.
With thunder.
Right.
And with earthquake.
Come on.
And great noise.
And come on.
With storm and tempest.
Read.
And the flame of devouring fire.
The flame of devouring fire. Destruction. He's visiting with destruction. Does everybody understand that? He's visiting the earth right now with this COVID-19. He's visiting a lot of households. There's a lot of households with one dead. Right? Couple dead here, dead, dropping like flies. Right? And that's the first wave. Right? So we know that the Most High is visiting, and when he's visiting, he's going to bring judgment to the wicked. Right? We don't want to be in the number of the wicked. That's why we're here. Hallelujah. We're making sure we're not in that number of the wicked. We have to learn to fear the Most High. We got to teach our people to fear the Most High. That there's judgment in their wickedness. All right, let's read.
In Isaiah, or going back?
Are we done in Isaiah? We finished first.
It says a multitude of the nations fight against. Yeah, we done that.
Okay, let's go back.
Verse 26.
26.
Verse 26. Ye shall therefore keep my statutes and my judgments, and ye shall not commit any of these abominations,
Right.
neither any of your own nation, nor any stranger that sojourneth among you.
Right.
For all these abominations have the men of the land done,
Right.
which were before you, and the land is defiled.
Come on.
And the land spew not you out also, when ye defile it,
Right.
as it spewed out the nations that were before you.
Right. So as these nations are going to get spewed out the land, he said, be careful, don't go into these things, because the Most High going to spew you out the land too. Right? As you can see, we're not in the land, so, we see that we did go after the ways of the heathens eventually. All right? But we understand that for us to go back into the land, what do we have to get rid of? We have to get rid of those iniquities. Right? We have to get rid of those customs. For the land to what? Accept us. And for us to grow and flourish in the land, we can't go into the land full of sin. Does everybody understand that? We can visit it, we can get on a plane and go there. Right? But for us to return to the land fully, we have to return there, what? Righteously. Right? Righteously. Right? We could even move there. Right? But to really return to it, we have to return to it righteously, or else it won't give us what is supposed to be given to us. All right, let's read.
Verse 29. For whosoever shall commit any of these abominations, even the souls that commit them shall be cut off from among their people.
Come on.
Therefore shall ye keep my ordinance, that ye commit not any one of these abominable customs.
Right, so all these abominable customs that it's talking about the category is fornication. And it was brought up, it didn't say anything about cousins, right? Let's get the Apocrypha. Let's get the book of Tobit. And that is correct. It did not mention cousins. I'm going to see why. First, get Tobit 1, and verse yeah, you can start verse 7.
7.
Yeah. Or the verse 6. Verse 6.
Out of the regular Apocrypha in the book of Tobit, chapter 1 and verse 6, page 36. But I alone went often to Jerusalem at the feast, as it was ordained unto all the people of Israel by an everlasting decree, having the first fruits and tenths of incense. Increase with that which was first shown, and them gave I at the altar to the priests, the children of Aaron. The first tenth part of all increase I gave to the sons of Aaron, whom ministered at Jerusalem.
So this is Tobit talking. And he's speaking of his righteousness. Tobit was a righteous man. Okay, read on.
Another tenth part I sold away and went, and I spent every year at Jerusalem. And the third I gave unto them to whom it was meet, as Deborah, my father's mother, had commanded me.
Right.
Because I was left an orphan by my mother.
Right, so my mother's, right, Deborah, my father's mother, commanded unto me, right? I was left an orphan by my father. So he was raised by who? His grandmother. His grandmother. Right? His mother's, his father's mother. His grandmother. His grandmother raised him. And raised him right. Right? To do the will of the Most High. To give his offerings and the 10th part and things of that sort. Okay, read on.
Verse 9. Furthermore, when I was come to the age of a man.
Right, when he came to the age of a man, come on.
I married Anah of my own kindred.
Of my own what?
Of my own kindred.
Of my own kindred. What is your kindred? Your relatives, right? Your nation, your family, your relatives. Read on.
And of her I begat Tobias.
And of her I begat Tobias. Read on.
And now, when we carried away captives in Nineveh, all my brethren and those that were of my kindred did eat of the bread of the Gentiles.
Right, so a lot of his brethren went off, right? And they did wickedly, but he was a righteous man, right? So now he went and got a wife of his own kindred. So let's see what part of, we went over to your kindred of all you cannot be with. Everybody understand that? You can't be with your auntie, your grands, your brothers, sisters. You can't do that. So who of your kindred can you be with? Let's get Tobit 6 and verse 9.
This is the book of Tobit, chapter 6 and verse 9.
Uh-huh.
And when they were come near to Rages, then the angel said to the young man, Brother, today we shall lodge with Regal, who is thy cousin.
Who is that what?
Who is thy cousin.
Come on.
He also hath one only daughter named Sarah.
Right.
I will speak for her, that she may be given thee for a wife.
For a what?
For a wife.
So then what is the relationship between Tobias and Reguel? Cousins. So the cousin's daughter would be what to you? Second cousin, right? Yeah. Read on.
Verse 11. For to thee doeth the right of her appertain,
right?
Seeing thou only art of her kindred.
Right. He says the right to be her husband appertain to you because of your relation. Does everybody understand that? Because they were what? Second cousins. You have the right to be her husband. Okay, let's read.
Verse 12. And the maid is fair and wise. Now therefore hear me. I will speak to her father, and when we return from Rages, we will celebrate the marriage. For I know that Regal cannot marry her to another according to the law of Moses.
According to what?
According to the law of Moses.
According to the law of Moses, you're the one that she should marry. Right? So we were in the law of Moses showing that there's a lot of different relatives you cannot marry, but there's also a relative that can be married, which is, right, breaking it down here is that second cousin. Everybody understand that? Read on. I'm not telling you to go marry your second cousin now. Right? That couldn't sound low, right? I'm not telling you to go look your cousin. I'm just saying, according to the word, this is as it is written. Okay? This is as it is written. Read on.
But he shall be guilty of death, because the right of inheritance doeth rather appertain to thee than to any other.
Right, and these things were set up because of what? Inheritances. That inheritances, once your family receives an inheritance, it's supposed to stay within your family, right? Your inheritance. It was not to be given to someone else. So because the relation was there, that the inheritance that he would receive through this marriage would stay within the family, all right? But she had how many daughters? He had one only daughter. so that she would get what? She's going to get the inheritance of her father. All right, go ahead.
Numbers 36 and 7.
Was that going to the inheritance? 36 and 7? Numbers 36 and 7. Let's look at that. Yes, you can drop that. Numbers 36 and 7. Go ahead.
Start from 6, right?
You can start from 6.
This is the book of Numbers, chapter 36 and verse 6. This is the thing which the Most High doeth command concerning the daughters of Zelophehad, saying, let them marry to whom they think best.
Right.
Only to the family of the tribe of their father shall they marry.
Come on.
So shall not the inheritance of the children of Israel remove from tribe to tribe.
Come on.
For every one of the children of Israel shall keep himself to the inheritance of the tribe of his fathers.
Come on.
And every daughter that possesses an inheritance in any tribe of the children of Israel shall be wife unto one of the family of the tribe of her father, that the children of Israel may enjoy every man the inheritance of his father.
So everybody understand that? When we had inheritance, this rule was set up that the inheritance wouldn't be moving from tribe to tribe and from family to family, that it would stay within the family. Does everybody understand that? All right, so there was a reasoning for this, right, that we married the cousins because it was an inheritance reason. Okay? Go ahead. You had a question? Say it louder.
At that particular moment, wasn't that only established for the daughters of Zelophehad because there was only 5 of them and they had no sons?
Right, and that's the same thing where it's pertaining to the woman in Tobit, because he had one only daughter, and it was Sarah. So she would get the inheritance. Anytime the woman got the inheritance, it's because there was no son. Does everybody understand that? Because the inheritance would go to the son. But if there's no son, then the daughter would get the inheritance. Okay? Or if the sons were passed away or something to that effect, it would come down to the daughter to get the inheritance. But it would pass down. Okay? So this is a reasoning that they had the tribal marriages or the marriages within the kinswoman or kinsmen because of inheritance. That's saying you cannot marry someone outside of your tribe, right? You can, right? But this was set up for this reasoning. Does everybody understand that? Right? So now we understand what was set up and why it was set up. Okay? We have no inheritances to pass down, generational inheritances, then it's not needed. All right? But if we do, then it might be something that you might consider. All right? So let's go now back to Leviticus.
So we're on 30? Leviticus chapter 18 and verse 30. Therefore ye shall keep my ordinance, that ye commit not any one of these abominable customs which ye were committed before you.
Right.
That ye defile not yourselves therein. I am the Most High your power.
Right. So the customs of the heathen, we do not follow those. Because in the royal noble families of the heathen, especially the so-called white man, they did a lot of brother and sister marrying. That's common amongst the Greeks and the Romans. That was a common practice. And they said, what? To keep the riches in the family. Right? But even to keep the riches in the family, you cannot marry your brother, your sister. Right? Or your aunt, your uncle, your niece, your nephew. Right? That's off limits with the Most High. Does everybody understand that? All right. Let's read.
Leviticus chapter 19 and verse 1. And the Most High spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto all the congregation of the children of Israel, and say unto them, Ye shall be holy, for I the Most High your power am holy.
Come on.
Ye shall fear every man his mother and his father, and keep my Sabbaths. I am the Most High your power.
Right. So one of the, fear every man, their mother and their father is a very important instruction. All right, because that yields a long life. All right. Give me Exodus 20. And read that, Lord, to honor your father and mother.
Exodus chapter 20 and verse 12.
Uh-huh.
Honor thy father and thy mother,
Right.
that thy days may be long upon the land, which the Most High thy power giveth thee.
Right. So your days will be long if you honor your parents. Right? Your father and your mother. You respect them. Especially our younger brothers and sisters that's in the congregation. You got to be reminded that you can't be righteous and you don't honor your father and your mother, especially them being in this word. Right? More so, you got to honor what your father and your mother say. Everybody understand that? Right? Our children should be the best behaved children when it comes to the law. Because the law, not only we tell you, but the Most High is telling you, you better honor your father and your mother, or he's going to chastise you. Right? So not because your father and mother don't see what you did, don't mean the Most High didn't see it. You understand that? So as our young generations coming up in this word, understand that the Most High watching the way you deal with your parents. Okay? Because your parents are in this truth. You're a generation coming up. You're going to be what is called second generation Israelites. Right? Which in this part of this side of the truth, we don't have many. Right? We don't have many. Most of us, we're the first one in our family that have turned to the ways of the Heavenly Father. Very few of us can say, oh, my father and my mother was in the truth. Okay? So there's more weight on you than is on us. Because you don't have an excuse. You see, we had ignorance. We didn't know. Our parents rose us to do wickedly.
Right.
What's your excuse? I'm waiting. You was raised to do the commandments of Yah. So when you don't do it, it's just blatant dishonor and disrespect for your parents and for the Most High. You don't have an excuse. Right? You had someone to teach you from a child coming up. Right? You don't have to wonder about Christmas and Thanksgiving. Right? Don't wonder about what the evil and the wicked is doing. You don't bother with that. Okay? Let's look at the book of Sirach. Get Ecclesiastes. The 3rd chapter. Go to the first verse. Sirach 3 verse 1. So being a second generation Israelite, there's more pressure on you. Because your parents knew the word. Right? And you was raised in the word. So when you go astray, right, the Most High will be looking at you double time. Like, oh really, you just disobedient. You're not doing this through ignorance. Okay, let's read.
Sirach chapter 3,
verse 1.
Verse 1. Hear me, your father, O children, and do thereafter, that ye may be safe. For the Lord.
Ye may be what?
That ye may be safe. Right.
So just for your safety, do what your father and your mother said, as they instructed you. Right? You can uphold these scriptures being second generation Israelites. Right? A lot of us, our parents, they off into other philosophies and all kind of wickedness. We gotta find what do you call it, like a balance. We want to listen to them, but we ain't gonna do that. They try to get you to go get the hammers on sale. Right? You don't want to dishonor them, but you like, yo, listen, this is an abomination. I can't really do this. Right? So we had that fight, that toil. Right? They want you to come to the Thanksgiving dinner. Your Uncle Ray Ray is gonna be in town. You ain't seen him so long. What's wrong with you? Why you ain't coming? Right? But when you're a second generation Israelite, your parents should not be encouraging you to do anything that's unlawful. Right? So you should be willing to do whatever that they instructed you to do. Does everybody understand that? Let's read.
Verse 2. For the Most High have given the father honor over the children, and have confirmed the authority of the mother over the son.
Right, so the father has honor over you and the mother has authority over you. If you, especially our children that are second generation Israelites. Read on.
Whoso honoreth his father maketh an atonement for his sins.
You're going to get forgiven for your sins just by honoring your father. Read on.
And he that honoreth his mother,
come on,
is as one that layeth up treasure.
That's like you just, it's like a treasure chest for you. When you lay up treasure, why you lay it up? So you can what? You can benefit from it in the future. Okay? In the future, it will do for you. But that's how it is when you do well with your amma. Right? You do well with your amma or your ima while you're young. When you're older, they'll be looking out for you. Right? Everybody understand that? You disrespect your ima, your abba, then later on when you need them, they'll be looking at you crazy. Right? Don't come over here. Right? We can't help you. Right? Let's read.
Verse 5. Whoso honoreth his father shall have joy of his own children.
Right.
And when he maketh his prayer, he shall be heard.
Right. So if you were well with your parents, your children going to be well with you. If you wasn't well with them, you gonna have the same problem coming at you. All right? Everything you did to your parent, head come back at you like, damn. You be looking at your own child like, man, I was just like that. All right? You don't want to admit it, but it's a mirror looking at you. All right? Damn, I was stubborn just like that. All right? So we have to make sure that we are, instead of passing down generational curses, let's pass down some generational blessings. All right, let's do that. Let's try that one. Let's see how that works. All right, be a third and fourth generation of righteousness. Okay, all right, so that our grandchildren will be doing what's right. All right, some of us grandparents. Who's grandparent here? Who's a grandparent? Hallelujah. All right, so that generational wisdom got to go down to that grandchild. That's a third generation Hebrew Israelite. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Most High, we bringing us back. Right? Israel is coming back. Right? There's two ways to get the nation back together. Go out there and teach the people or make them ourselves. I tell you, I don't know. Which one is more enjoyable? I don't know. Sometimes I don't know. It's about half and half. I don't know which one is more enjoyable. But they both are gratifying. Right? And they both are necessary. Let's go.
Verse 6. He that honoreth his father shall have a long life. And he that is obedient unto the Lord shall be comfort to his mother. Right? He that feareth the Lord will honor his father.
Right, so you honor your father and you're a comfort to your mother because of your relationship with the Most High. Everybody understand that? Not because your relationship with your father and your mother. Right? Because you might have difference of opinion on some of the things that they do, but you deal with them a certain way because of your relationship with the Most High. Right? You know the Father watching, I know Father watching me, I need to deal with my mother accordingly. I need to deal with my father accordingly. Right? Because Yah is watching me. All right? So our children need to be aware of this. All right? Because our children, they go to school with other children, and the other children, they be wild. They be turning cussing out their parent, and they might see it go down, and they might get an idea in their head. Shoot, they get away with that. Or the other child tell your child, oh, my mother don't tell me what to do. Right? I could use my phone anytime I feel like it. Right? And then your child get that idea, like, is it like that?
Right.
Well, it's just like that for me. Right? They'll find out otherwise. It ain't like that, right? Right? When your mother come off the top rope, right, with her elbow, to the small of your back, you realize that it's not like that for you, right? And it should be that way, right? Our children being second generation Israelites, should be influencing their peers, not them being influenced by their peers. But we have to build them up with strength. They got to know that this is their role, that this is their purpose. That when they saying things different than the people that's around them, that's a good thing. Right? When their friend is talking about their freedoms, right, to do wickedness, and you don't have those same wicked freedoms, right, then you shouldn't feel envious. The scripture says, envy not evildoers. You shouldn't be envious of what they're able to do and not able to do. But glad and thankful that the Most High gave you parents that's in this truth, that's in this word. Right? That's a great resource, man. Many of us that sit up here, we didn't have that resource. Y'all was just merciful and kind to send elders in our life that could guide us in the ways of righteousness. Right? But you got elders and parents. Right? So you got double guidance. Right? Or either you double rebellious. One of the two. Right? You got to be double rebellious to do what's wrong. All right, let's read.
Verse 7. He that feareth the Most High will honor his father and will do service unto his parents as to his masters.
Read.
Honor thy father and mother, both in word and deed.
Come on.
And that a blessing may come upon thee from them.
Right, come on.
For the blessing of the father establisheth the houses of children.
Come on.
But the curse of the mother rooteth out foundations.
Let's root out foundations. Right? So your mother, listen, what your mother say, everybody got that witness. What your mother say to you has some odd way of coming to pass. Right? So you got to make sure that it's good words in her tongue when it comes towards you. Right? Because somehow she said something, boy, that's exactly what she said. And that's what came to pass. Right? So we got to be mindful of that. That we build these relationships by what? Doing what's right in the sight of the Heavenly Father. Right? We honor our fathers and our mothers. Right? Come on.
Verse 10. Glory not in the dishonor of thy father, for the father's dishonor is no glory unto thee.
Right. So let's say your father wasn't a good man. Right? Let's say he was not there, or he was not on the up and up. Don't glory in that. Don't talk about it. Yeah, he wasn't right, but I'm better than he is, and all this type of stuff. We ain't supposed to be that way. Sis, you have a question? Or comment?
10 years in the penitentiary.
Right, 10 years in the pen. Right, it is what it is. Right, but we don't wear it as a badge. You say, yo, oh, my father was this. Don't glory in your father's unrighteousness. Right. Let's read.
Verse 11. For the glory of a man is from the honor of his father, and a mother in dishonor is the reproach to the children.
Come on.
My son, help thy father in his age, and grieve him not as long as he liveth.
Come on.
And if his understanding fail, have patience with him.
Have what?
Patience with him.
Right, so sometimes y'all coming up in this word, y'all getting sharp. Y'all might be sharper than your parents on certain things. You got to have patience with them. Right? Don't come in the house, start rebuking and cutting them with the scripture. You know what I'm saying? Your parents sitting there like, yo, what's all this? Right? That's why I say you was off, you off, Father. I'm you off. Let's save the Most High. You probably look at you like, what? He said, have patience with him. Have patience with him. You rising in your strength. He might be declining in his. He might be an old man now. You know what I mean? He might not remember things that he used to remember. Right? Don't try to shame him because you remember the verse before he did. Right? Come on now. Give the man a chance. He did his work. He did his walk. Right? You coming up on yours now. If anything, use your strength to aid him. Right, everybody understand that? Right? Be his armor bearer then. If he can't remember where his sword is at, be his armor bearer. Say your sword right here, man. Here you go. I know you're looking for it. Right? That's the spirit you're supposed to have. Everybody understand this?
Come on.
Let's read.
Verse 13. And if his understanding fail, have patience with him, and despise him not, when thou art in thy full strength.
Yeah, now you all strong and sharp. Your brain clicking. You remembering stuff. Now you want to try to disrespect your parent because you sharp now. All right, come on.
For the revealing of thy father shall not be forgotten.
Read that again.
For the relieving.
Right, the relieving.
For the relieving of thy father shall not be forgotten.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of sins, it shall be added to build thee up.
Right, so when you relieve him, you help him, that most ain't gonna forget that. And he gonna bless you for forgiving, for relieving him, for making things lighter, his burden is lighter on him. The most ain't gonna bless you for that. All right, so there's a lot to gain on how we deal with our parents. Read on.
Verse 14.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah, verse 14. For the relieving.
You read that already.
So we have 15. In the day of thine affliction it shall be remembered.
Uh-huh.
Thy sins also shall melt away.
Come on.
As the ice in their fair warm weather.
Right, so your sins gonna melt away just because of the way you dealt with your parents. Read on.
He that forsaketh his father is a blasphemer.
It's a what?
Blasphemer.
Right, and you against your father, it's like you're a blasphemer. Come on.
And he that angrieth his mother is cursed of God.
It's cursed of your house. So we know not to anger our mothers and not to dishonor our fathers. Come on. Let's go back to Leviticus. Okay. And read that third verse again, 19 and 3.
This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 19 and verse 3.
Uh-huh.
Ye shall fear every man his mother and his father.
Right.
And keep my Sabbaths. I am the Most High your power.
I am the Most High in power. We're keeping the Sabbath right now. All right, so it is now 3 o'clock. This is the time when you take the break. I can stick a pen in it right here. And we'll do the announcements and things of that sort. So we'll take a quick break and then we'll come back and pick it up from 19 verse 3. Minister Marsha, we need the weekly announcements. Father Shah.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
All right. So far, the update we have with the park openings, I know they said they was going to open the parks, but I believe Bayat was the one to inform me that this is still, it's going to be up north, the opening. All right, so it's still like in the Vero Beach area. The Treasure Coast is open now, right? Con. So they haven't opened any parks down here as yet, as I know. All right, as soon as we get an update, I'll let you know. May 31st is the Pentecost, right? That's a Sunday, but also May 22nd is the next new moon. So we're gonna have two holidays kind of back to back with each other, all right? Like almost 7 days apart. So, yes. May 31st will be the Pentecost, Feast of Weeks, right? That's a Sunday. And May 22nd that evening is going to be the new moon. Everybody got that?
Good.
All right. Please do remember that, when we take our break, try not to be outside so much. If you have to go to your car, try not to have the children running around in the parking lot. We're still, under this lockdown order so far.
Good.
Also, from my understanding that, it's been a little bit of whispering during the class. I know that sometimes, may want to ask somebody a question, or if you have to, you can step outside and speak to your peers about something. But, when we normally in classroom setting, it's usually quiet in here. So that way everyone can hear. Everyone hear me?
Come.
All right? So we don't have, no outbursts or anything like that.
All right. Any other announcements?
Chief? Okay. I believe that's it for right now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, don't forget, I believe when we finish the class, we're going to do a town hall.
This is, yeah.
It's the first week.
Okay.
We do the town hall meeting. We ask everyone to stay after the class is over, and we open up for questions. We ask anybody
Questions, concerns, things you want us to address, things that we should be doing,
right?
ideas, and all that comes out.
Everything.
So,
All right. And then after, of course, you know, the camp members, we go out to camp, and after we be back a certain time, and we're gonna have our council meeting today. Con?
Con.
All right. It's a mandatory meeting for the camp members. All right. That's it.
Hallelujah. All right, so those are the weekly announcements. Also, do remember, don't forget, we're in the 21st day of the Omer. Hope everyone is praying every day, thanking the Most High for giving us the bread from heaven, setting up Psalms 67 daily, and counting our days. So we're in day 21. We're in the third Sabbath, day 21. All right, so, let's continue to bless the Most High and thank Him for that. All right, so we're going to take a quick break. I think we're going to break until about 3:30 or so, and then we'll reconvene. Hallelujah? Hallelujah. All right, enjoy your break. Shalom.
Resurrected from the grave, resurrected from a slave, resurrected in His name, resurrected to hold the faith till the earth will cease. Righteous branch, righteous leave, thy kingdom come, thy will be done. But when is the end of the first? And how long will Jacob thirst? And how long will Israel be cursed? And how long will your prophets prophesy while your saints die? They hold it self-guilt, and now all these heathens on my hit list, they wish they never did this. Resurrection, your death gon' be my resurrection. My fate gon' be my resurrection. Yahweh Shai, my resurrection. I'm born again, I'm resurrected. Your death gon' be my fate gon' be Yahweh Shai, my resurrection, resurrection. I'm born again, no more sin. He conquered death, I'm resurrected, resurrected.
When I was told about Yahweh Shai, I resurrected. All evil in this world, gotta admit this shit is hectic. Righteous seed of Jacob, though we fell into captivity. LOZ, here to lift up our community. Respect it, we Semitic. Kazar's trying to tell us that the Holocaust was epic. Hamashiach didn't come to save your sin. Only Negroes, Hispanics, and the native Indians. Hell no, we ain't comedic. The Holy Bible cut like a gas, it's penetrating. Now you awaken and you shaking. When you're in the presence of the Son of Man, you can't be breaking. The book of Exodus is written in 20 and 3. Thou shalt have no other God before me. Not submitted to Yah's laws that have you based thermonuclear bombs, so quit the blasphemy.
Your death gon' be my fate gon' be Yahweh Shai, my resurrection, resurrection. I'm born again, no more sin. He conquered death, I'm resurrected, resurrected.
Wisdom cries out, she uttered her voice in the chief place of concourse. How long ye simple ones will you love simplicity? Fools hate knowledge, Proverbs can rip it. But back to these scriptures, through Adam, through a Mashiach, blessed be the power and the honor of our the one of Mashiach Yahweh Shai, that we may know him in the resurrection, being the first fruits of them to rise. He will also raise us up by his power. Ye men of Yasharallah, hear these words. Praise ye Yahweh, hallelujah. Praise him for his mighty acts, hallelujah. Praise his greatness.